Hi, everybody. I wanted to do a post for you about Maundy Thursday that was a little bit more for the kids. So, this one, I'm going to read the story from our Spark Bible about Maundy Thursday and what happened that night with Jesus. So, if you want to, you can go grab your Spark Bible. It starts on page 462. So, you can always put a video on pause and find your Bible if you want to follow along. You ready to read? The Last Supper. Jesus knew that the time had come for him to leave this world. He wanted to share his last Passover meal together with his 12 closest friends, the disciples. Jesus loved his friends and wanted to show them his love in a very caring way. As the friends got ready for the meal, Jesus put water in a large bowl and knelt down on the floor. He wanted to wash the feet of each disciple. When it was Peter's turn, Peter said to Jesus, "You will never wash my feet." Jesus replied, "Peter, you don't understand what I'm doing now, but you will later." Peter loved Jesus so much that he said, "Then don't just wash my feet, but my head and my hands also." Peter wanted to be as close to Jesus as possible. As they were eating, Jesus sadly told his disciples, "Soon one of you will betray me. One of you will tell people you don't like me where I am, so they can take me away." This upset the disciples, and each one said, "It's not me you're talking about, is it?" Then Judas said this. Jesus gently replied, "Yes, Judas, you will betray me." Then Jesus picked up a loaf of bread. He blessed it and gave some to each of his friends, saying, "Take this bread and eat it. This is my body." Then Jesus picked up a cup of wine. He gave thanks and said, "Drink this. It is my blood, which I must give up, so the sins of people may be forgiven." So that's part of the story of Maundy Thursday, and it really comes in two parts. And the first one we heard about was Jesus washing the disciples' feet. It was a way of him teaching them that they need to love one another. Okay? And so we're supposed to do that too, but I want to talk to you today about the second part that we read. And that part is about a meal. Now, talk with your mom or dad. You can put the video on pause. Does that sound like anything that we do in church? It probably does. It might sound a little bit like communion, but what I want you to talk about first is if you have an empty plate at home and you were going to fill it with something, if you were going to put something to eat on that plate, what is your favorite thing to eat? Now, I told you on a post, a week or so ago, about those macaroni noodles, right? Well, my favorite thing to eat is homemade macaroni and cheese. I loved it since I was little. That's one of the things I might put on my plate. But the disciples, when they were meeting and they were eating that meal together, it was a special meal called Passover. They were celebrating part of their history, that God had rescued them because they were slaves in Egypt. Their people were slaves, and God rescued them. And so every year they would eat this meal as a celebration. It might be like we might do if we get together with our families for Easter. And even if we can't do that with our whole big family this year for Easter, maybe you can do a Zoom call. That's what my family's going to do. We're going to do a Zoom call and be with everybody together around the table and eat together at the same time. But I want you to think about the next time we're all back together in church, that special meal that we have together is the one that Jesus started on that first Maundy Thursday. And we still celebrate communion every Sunday when we're together. So next time we're together, and you'll see me hold up the bread, and we break it, and we hold up the wine, and we bless it. That's all part of what Jesus did on that first Maundy Thursday. And so I can't wait to see you again back in church when we can share communion together, the bread and the wine of communion. And we can remember that we heard this story on Maundy Thursday. Hope to see you again tomorrow. I'll be doing another post for Good Friday. Everybody be safe and take care.